Again, just do the best you can with what you have available to you. With that out of the way, let's get started with our warm up and just getting into a nice relaxed state here with some nice deep breathing going in through the nose, out through the mouth, and continue that breathing there. And over the next couple of breaths, when you're ready to, you can start to close the eyes down and just continue that nice deep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Relax it down. Really focusing on that breath. Notice how it feels as you breathe in through the nose. Notice how it fills up the lungs, inflates your chest, and how it lifts you up a bit as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, notice how it relaxes down. Everything sinks down a little bit. Shoulders relax off. And as we do this, we start to shout at the world around us and bring that focus into the breathing. And reminding ourselves that we've done the hardest bit of the session already, which is to turn up in the first place. But now we're here reminding ourselves that we should stay focused and stay controlled, relaxed, and focus on all the movements, the breathing, the stretching that we'll be doing today. And anytime you find your mind wandering, just remind yourself it's okay. It's perfectly normal for your mind to wander, but just bring it back in. You can refocus it at any time just by doing some nice deep breathing. That's going to help recenter you and keep you focused throughout. When you're ready to, you can open your eyes, keep the breathing going, but as you breathe in, shrug up. And as you breathe out, relax it down. Just repeat through that shrug. As you breathe in, squeeze it nice and tight. As you breathe out, relax it back down. Good. As we squeeze, it's just starting to send blood to that area. And as we relax it off, we're almost like pumping the blood into this specific area here. And let's do the same, but instead of going up and down, we go forwards as we breathe out, bringing it back as we breathe in. I'll come to the side so you can see that as well. So squeeze the shoulder blades back as you breathe in. As you breathe out, push them forward. Okay, let's go into some shoulder rotations, just circling them around, nice and gentle. And change direction. And giving that a nice little shake off there. Let's bring our hands up to around about shoulder height. And what we're going to do, we're going to push one hand forwards and then bring it back in. We're going to breathe out as we push forwards and then breathe in as you pull it in. Alternating hands here. Good. Keep that going. It's actually a lot colder than I thought it was today, so I'm going to put my woolly hat on again. So don't mind me. At least you won't be able to miss me anyway with my bright yellow hat. Just nice, easy movements here. Pushing it forwards, bringing it back. Breathe out as you push out. Breathe in as you pull in. Try and make these movements as smooth as you possibly can. Extending forwards the best you can as well with this. So just reaching, but staying sat upright, reach forwards and bring it back in. If you can't reach all the way out with your arm though, just go to a shorter range of motion. That's absolutely fine. Just go to where you can with this. And also if you only got the ability to do it one arm as well, just do the one arm. Good. Let's do that a little bit more. But as we reach forwards, let's reach it forwards and bend down a little bit as we do so to get a little bit more extension. Bring it back in. Swap over to the other side. Reach forwards as best we can. Bring it back in. You can almost feel a bit of a stretch right at the end of the movement of the stretch forwards. Bring it back in. And if you're not already doing so, you can link the breathing in again. Breathe out as you push out. Breathe in as you pull in. And nice, smooth movements. Good. And let's take that one step further now. So as we reach out, go as far as you can, then come up and over the top on the way back. And repeat on the other side. If you can't come up and over, just come up and round or a little bit lower, but just try and get some more movement on it, either horizontally or vertically. Just get some more movement on that there. Good work, everybody, with this one. Excellent. Bring it back into the middle and let's start going out to the side now instead. Starting with just nice and basic movements. Out to one side, bring it back. Out to the other side and bring it back. Breathe out as you push out to the side. Breathe in as you bring it in. Repeat on the other side. And let's extend a little bit further now so we can hold on as we come over if you need to. And I like to come over as far as to bring my ear onto or near to my shoulder, but you can get as far as you are comfortable with doing so, out to the side, bring it back in. Try and lean over a little bit at least, even if it's just a small amount. And you can use that other arm like I am here to hold on. And obviously that depends on what type of chair you've got as well. And let's start to extend that a little bit more as well now. So reach out to the side and then up and over the top. If you can't come up and over the top, we just come up as high as we can. If that's like above about eye level or chest level or even lower, that's absolutely fine. Just trying to get some more extension on reaching out and then up and over, however that looks for you. Good. Let's bring it into the center. Just start doing some rotations. Just ease out of that little bit of movement there. Good. Well, let's bring our hands together in a prayer position. They're reaching up, out, and around. And as always with this, just do the best you can. If that's just small movements, medium-sized movements, large, extra large, extra, extra large, however you want to go up by shirt sizes if you want. But just doing nice, good movements, the best that you can do. Keep that breathing going as well as you're doing this movement. And if you want that extra little bit of stretch as you do so, try and keep those elbows together or as close as you can together as you reach up. That's going to stretch out the back there a little bit more and reaching it out and around. Good work, everybody. Yeah. Let's do that in the opposite direction now. So instead, what we do is kind of almost imagine you've got clouds above your head. We're going to gather them. And rather than coming down into a prayer position, I kind of want you just to push it down, just like so. So almost like you're going to grab a cloud and then you're going to push it down into your tummy area. That's it. Good. And keep the breathing going as well. Whatever feels natural, just use some nice deep breathe as you go through this. Add a little bit of extension on that now. So as you bring it out, up and around, bring it down. And then as you come to around about your chest height, going to push both hands forwards, right out in front of you, then drop them down to the side, up, then bring it down, and push them out forwards in front of you. Good work. Try and make those the transition between each bit. So here, transition, transition. Try and make it nice and smooth movements on this. Okay, so try not to make it like 1, 2, 3 movements. Try and make it one long fluid movement on this. Good. Relax those arms down. Just going into some shoulder rotations again. Change direction. Good. Then now let's go into some of our neck mobility exercises here. So starting off nice and simple with some extension and flexion, and just going back and forth between the two here, nice and gentle and controlled. Keep that going. Just nice and easy, looking up, looking down, back and forth between the two. Nice, easy movements. Keep that breathing going here as well. That's just going to help us to send oxygen around the body, and especially into the area that we're working. And that's going to send everything it needs to be able to do this a lot more fluidly and effectively. Okay, when you find yourself looking down next, let's just hold it there and just let gravity take over a little bit here, pulling that head down towards your lap and slightly stretching out the back of the neck there. And for some of you might feel this quite a bit, for some not so much. Some might be in between. It all depends on lots of different factors like what we do with our daily lives, the ability to mobilize within this area, lots of different things. So just relax into it, breathe into it, just to let it go through this good range of motion as you're looking down. And ease out of it. Do a little bit of looking up and down again. And now the next time you find yourself looking up, let's hold that there, and we can increase the stretch a little bit further by putting the hand on the sternum and slightly pulling down whilst also keeping the mouth closed, okay? So looking up, first step, keep the mouth closed. That's going to increase the stretch a little bit. Then you can increase it a little bit more by putting the hand on the sternum and gently pulling down. And ease out of it. Do a couple of looking up and downs. And then let's go into our rotation next. So looking left and right, nice and easy and controlled. You guys know the drill by now. We do this often because it's really good to do things consistently. So often the best way to get results from things is not to do it perfect, but sporadically. It's best to do it as best you can, but as often as you can. So don't worry about getting it perfect as you're doing it. It's more important that we do this on a consistent basis, and even doing this once a week like we do during this session. And if you come to my cardio session, we usually add little bits of this or a shorter version of this into the end of the workout. It can really come away with some really big benefits. I massively notice the difference when I don't do my neck exercises. For example, when I recently had a short stint in hospital, I didn't manage to get as much done. I still managed to get some done because I knew how important it was, but there was a couple of days where I missed it, and I really noticed it in the neck area, and I started to get headaches and all those kind of things come in. But doing this sort of thing can really help to get rid of that sort of feeling. So always try and get in as often as I can. Okay, next time you find yourself looking to the left, let's hold it there. And if we want to increase the stretch, we can take our left hand, place it around about the right collarbone, and gently pull down towards the right armpit area here. Nice, easy movements. Good work. Let's ease out of it. Moving into side to side again a little bit. And then we'll look over to the right side now. Holding the position first of all, and then we can increase the stretch by right arm on the left collarbone area and gently pulling it down towards the left armpit. Breathe into it as well. It's going to help just to relax you into it. And relax out of it now. Do a couple of looking lefts and rights. And then let's go into our lateral flexion. That's where we bring one ear to one shoulder, one ear to the other shoulder, back and forth between the two. Nice, gentle, easy, controlled movements again. And next time you find your left ear towards your left shoulder, let's hold that position. Some of you may find that that's enough of a stretch there, but if you want to take it one step further, we can drop that arm down towards the ground just to increase it further, or we can bring that arm behind our back as well, which just slightly changes it. So either just on the lap if that's enough, down by the side, or behind the back. I'll leave it up to you which you prefer to do. Have a play around, see what works. But when you do, just hold that position. Feel that stretch down that right side of the neck. And again, breathe into it. That's just going to help to ease that stretch, make it maybe even a little bit longer, but in a comfortable way. Okay, let's ease out of that. Do a couple of lefts and rights. And then the next time you find your right ear on your right shoulder, let's hold it there. Drop either arm on lap, drop it down to the side or behind you. And then again, holding it there, breathing into it. And then ease out of it again. Doing a couple of lefts and rights. Nice and relaxed. Good. Let's start to go through the rest of our spine now. And we start with some flexion extension. So we can extend and then flex down and just going back and forth between the two here. And remember with this, it doesn't need to be a huge range of motion to get the benefit of this. Like 80–90% of the benefit you'll get of this is just doing the movement. So even if you're doing a short amount of vertebrae movement, here my spine is barely moving, but I'm still getting that vertebrae movement in. That's going to go a long way. If I go a little bit more, I get a little bit more benefit, but not as much as I would just from just doing the exercise. So don't worry about how far or how big of a curve or an arch you can create, just think about moving it and trying to visualize that spine moving as you're doing it as well. I often find when I'm visualizing doing it, I have a bit more of a connection to what it is. So imagine what your spine would look like inside as you're doing this movement. Good work. Okay, let's go into some rotation next. And same rules apply here as well. Just do the best you can. A little bit of movement goes a long way. So nice work. Back and forth between the two. And then finally, let's go into some lateral flexion of these four movements. So we've got flexion, extension, joined together. Then rotation is one other. And then number 4 is this one, the lateral flexion. Curling over to one side, curling over to the other. Very similar to the flexion extension, but it's slightly different in how the vertebrae operate. Excellent work. And this next one kind of combines some of those together just by rotating around as if we're in a whirlpool. Let's change direction, go the opposite way. And ease out of it there. Good work. Let's give that a little shaky off. If you need to grab a drink, now is a good time to do so. And let's stay hydrated through this session, even though we're not doing anything too vigorous as such in general. We still need to keep the fluids high. That helps to keep everything lubricated in our body and keep things moving, and just helps us along the way. And it's sometimes surprising how much this kind of uses that fluid levels as well. And I know even though I don't sweat because of my spinal cord injury, there are other ways of noticing how I go through that sort of water supply in the body. And it's always good to stay hydrated as you go through and get stuff like dry mouth and all that kind of stuff as you're going through these. So you can sort of notice the signs of dehydration, and this, even this small amount of exercise can accelerate that. Good. Okay, so we're going to move on to some of our yoga movements. We're going to start sometimes how we usually end, but we're going to start with that today. And it's a nice movement, I think, in terms of getting a good range of motion through multiple planes of motion as well. So to do this, we're going to take our forearm and place it on our lap. This variation that I'm going to show you anyway is maybe the more advanced one, and I'm going to show you a more basic one as well in case you can't do it. But basically, so we're going to have the forearm, the right arm on the lap, and we're going to rotate the left arm up towards the sky. And then nice and simply we come down, thread the needle, which I like to say, through the gap that we created under our armpit, through to the other side, and then lean down if we can into it there. And then come back out, point to the sky, and then come back down again. Just going back and forth between the two. I'm just going to show that from the other angle as well. So from this other side, I rotate up, and then come down, and then this gap here, bring the arm through. Now, if you can't lean forwards and do all that rotation, that's fine. We can do it a little bit more sat up. Point to the sky, and then point across the body instead. So that way we don't have to bend all the way forwards as well. We just come up, get a little bit of a stretch in the chest as we bring it up, and bring it across the body and stretch. And if you have problems with any sort of rotation in the spine as well, just don't rotate as much. We can rotate the arm round, but the body isn't rotating a lot there. And then as we come across the body, we don't need to rotate the body as much. We can just bring that arm across. Then we get the benefit of the stretch of this without aggravating any rotation part of the body there. So there's your options. Either coming right the way up and down and threading the needle, or doing it a little bit more sat up, or doing it sat up but without as much rotation. So I'll leave that up to you with what works for you and your ability level. And again, remember, if there's anything that you do struggle with or any different adaptations that you need, please do reach out to me. Most of these adaptations I give are based on what people tell me, and I know these people come to the sessions, and I always give the adaptations, and they already know who they are when they get their adaptation that works for them. So if there is one that you specifically need for a specific exercise, do reach out. I am here to help you to get the most out of these sessions. Good work. Let's swap over to the other arm now. So you take your left arm, forearm on the lap. If you are doing on this variation, point up and then down and through. If not, you can set up a little bit more straight and do it, or without that stretch in there. So just find what works for you. And you might find a variation of it as well yourself that works, and that is fine. Yeah, let's ease out of that there. Good. Right. So we already done sort of part of this earlier on in the session. So we're going to start from the bottom and then go into the one we've already done. Sorry, my shoulder's a little bit achy today. So what we're going to do is reach down towards the floor, and then we come first of all up with a flat back. Then we come back down, and the next time we come up, we're curling up. And then we go into that movement we did earlier where we put palms together, reach up towards the sky, out and around, and then we're going to go all the way back to the floor again. So down to the floor, up with the flat back, back down, curling up the second time, palms together, reaching up, out, and around. If you're comfortable with that, keep going. I'm just going to explain the first bit of it in a little bit more detail. So as we come up with the flat back, what we do is almost arch your back like so. Oh, almost arching my back. I've pretty much got a flat back there before bringing it back down. And with this, what I almost like to do is try and almost, as the flat back, I almost try and keep my belly down and lift my chest up. That's kind of the position we get into there. So belly comes down and forwards, chest comes up, and that's my flat back. As I come up the second time, I try and lift the belly first and keep the chest down. And keep the chest down as long as I can as I start to sit up. So I curl up instead, then palms together and reach up. And essentially that's what we do with the flexion extension. We do a curl and an arch, but we're adding it into the movement. So we start with coming up in that extension position. Then the next time we come up in the flex position. And essentially, we're just taking that movement that we did earlier and add it into a more functional movement and one that combines the two together. So it all links, it all progresses from each other. And that's the idea of these sessions. I try and progress on as we go on. Okay, next time you come up, bring the arms up and around. When we get to parallel, we're going to go around to the left, then round to the right, and then back down to the starting position. And again, up with a flat back, down, up with the curl back, palms together, reaching up, out to parallel, rotate to the left, rotate to the right, and then back to the starting position and continue it there. I'm just going to rotate around again. Good work, everybody. So if you finish the one that you're on now, I'm almost there, finishing that one. Good. Excellent. You can notice as we're doing that, the different movements that we've been doing throughout the session. I already said about that's the flex, the extended position as we come up the first time, and the flex position is the second time. We all need those movements. This one brings a bit of a stretch in as well, similar to the movement when we bring the arm up and over, and then coming to the other side. So you get all these little bits that we've been progressively working on through the session, and just noticing it as we go through, and it just helps to warm up those muscles in those earlier stages. And as we get to these sort of the later stages of the workouts, we start bringing in ones that are a little bit more complicated, combined together, maybe a little bit more range of motion. It just helps us to progress into it nicely. I mean, we could start with the more complicated movements, but you wouldn't be able to do them as well without the foundation of coming through. So that's how we like to do it. Good. All right, next one we're going to add on to that there. When we come out to the side, we drop one hand down, one hand up. In fact, I'm going to do that again to the side because it's a little bit easier to show from the side. So When the arms come up and around to here, we rotate to the left arm comes down, the right arm comes up at the same time, and then we drop it back to here, and then we're going to rotate around to the other side. Right arm drops down, left arm comes up. Then back to the middle, and then back to the starting position all the way down to the bottom. So we come up with the flat back, and you can join in when you're ready to. Up with the curl back, palms together, reaching up, out to parallel, rotate to the left. Left arm comes down as the right arm comes up, then seesaws back again, rotate around to the right side, right arm goes down, left arm comes up, and then rotate back again, and back to the middle, and back to the starting position. Good, repeating through that when you're comfortable with it. I'll continue saying what the movements is. Flat back first of all, then curl back, nice and slowly, sitting up nice and straight, palms together, reaching up, out, and around. Rotate to the left, left arm down, right arm up. Seesaw back, rotate to the right side, right arm down, left arm up. Back down again, rotate to the middle, and back to the start position to go again. So I'll let you go in your own time now, in your own pace. Just nice, easy, gentle movements, going through those things that we've been doing here. Keep it going there. Even if it's short range of motion, just little bits and pieces goes a long way. So I'll do a short of a demonstration. If it's just here and then rotate, let's do a little bit of movement. Just even that goes a long way. So we can do it with really bent arms, keep them nice and close into our chest. We don't need to bring the arms right the way out. I'll demonstrate that again. So as it came up and out and around, I'll come to the front as well. So if you can do it with your straight arms and all that, that's absolutely fine. But if you can't, we can always just bring it up and out. And then I'm just rotating it around to one side, doing a little bit of movement. And even then, I'm still getting, some of the movement in. So don't worry if you can't struggle with if you do struggle with getting the arms all the way out. Just do the same movement. Bring the arms in. Bring them in closer. That means you can do even 10% of the range of motion. I'd much prefer that than not doing it at all, or feeling like you can't do it at all. That's it. Good work. Okay, let's do one more time there, wherever you're at. Or if you just started, make this your last one. Good work. Doing the seesaw. And once you've done that, bring it down into the middle. Nice and relaxed. Okay, what we got? We've got 7 minutes here left of the session. So we're just going to go into some nice meditation to finish off. But first of all, if you want to drink before we do this, feel free to do so. And we'll just go into, when you're ready to, some nice deep breathing and starting to relax that down. So just in through the nose, out through the mouth. And when you're ready to, over the next couple of breaths, just start to close down the eyes and bring that attention inward. Nice deep breathing. In this position, what we're going to do today is a body scan. So keep the eyes closed. And usually when we do a body scan, we start from the top of our head and work our way down. Today, we're going to start from the top of our tip of our very toes all the way to the top of the head. So reverse in motion. Maybe it'll be better for you, maybe it not, but I want to give it a try just to see if you prefer this. Now, if you're like me and you can't feel your toes, your legs, or whatever it may be, wherever you can feel, don't worry too much about it. All I want you to do is put focus down there and notice if you feel anything, even if it's sort of a numb feeling, if it's a tingly feeling, or if it is genuinely just nothing. I just want you to put the focus down into that area, at least where you can sort of sense where it is, and then we come up through. So we'll start through the tip of our toes. And if you can wiggle or move them, feel free to do so. If you can't, you're just like me, can't do it anyway, that's fine. Just put the energy and the focus into the tip of those toes and see how they are feeling when you focus on that area. Let's bring that now up the feet into the ankles, focusing on that area, and maybe keep some breathing going and try and get the breath almost like you're breathing into that ankle area now. Let's bring that now all the way from the ankles, going up the lower legs, through those muscles in that lower leg, the calf muscles, and into the knee area now. So just putting that focus, putting that attention in that area, and just noticing anything that comes back, or if there's nothing, or whatever it is, just notice, just observe, and see how it feels. Good. Let's take that focus now and gently go up the upper legs on both sides, the hamstrings and the quads. And we're going to go into the hip area. So lots of bits attached to the hip, whether it's the lower spine or the legs. So just give it an idea of how it feels. Almost imagine you've got like an X-ray and you're observing how those hips feel. Good. Now let's go from there up into the spine, starting the lower spine, and just vertebrae by vertebrae, moving your way up. Just notice how it feels as you move up and through the spine. Feel free to give it a move and a wiggle if that feels right to you. As you come up into sort of the mid back now, working our way up through the upper back, between the shoulder blades area, and let's stop there at the base of the neck. We'll come back to the neck area, but we're going to go out across the back first of all into the shoulder blades and into the shoulder area itself. Again, we can give these shoulders a little move, a little wiggle, see how it feels. The shoulder is made up of many different joints, each one as important as the other to make sure this is functioning properly. So let's give it a move, see how it is, and then move down the arms now, both the biceps and the triceps, into the elbow area. And again, you can move it if that feels right to you. Notice if there's any feeling, movement, whatever it may be, as we come down now through the lower arms, in those forearms, down into the wrist area, noticing how it is. Good. Again, you can give it a movement if you need to, into the hands and into the fingers, seeing how it feels. Good work. Let's bring that focus now back up the arms, into the wrists, into the elbows, and into the shoulders. Now we're going to come around to the front to the chest area. And noticing how that feels. Again, we can move our shoulders back and forth, and that gives us an idea of how the chest is feeling, because that's how it operates. And we go from there, going to get up into the neck area. And just notice how it is. Notice how it feels. Notice what it is if you're moving it. Whatever you can pay attention to, just listen to your body and see what it's saying. Now let's go up through the face. First of all, the jaw, into the cheeks, the eyes, into the forehead, and then into the tip of the crown. Good. We're going to start with some nice deep breathing, but I'm going to tell you exactly how we're going to do this. Today, we're going to imagine that through the top of the head, a white light's going to come in as you breathe in, and it's going to go from the top of your head all the way down to the tip of your toes and light up your whole body as you do so. Just to picture that in your mind as you breathe in. Off we go. Breathe in. And then breathe it out. 2 more times. Breathe in. One more. And just before we end the session here, just picture how that felt compared to when we do other times. Just give yourself a moment of thought, see if it felt better or different or however it felt. Just notice if there was any difference between you and how the session went together today. But as we close today's session, just want you to thank yourself for being here, for turning up, putting in the focus, putting in the movements, the breathing, the stretching that we've done today, bringing it all together for a nice 1-hour session that hopefully you can feel a little bit more relaxed going into the rest of your day. So give yourself a pat on the back or a round of applause, however you want to congratulate yourself as you start to open up your eyes and bring today's session to a close.